ladies and gentlemen. He placed second this year in the Danny Morona Comedy Competition, which was held about a month ago, I guess. It's been 5 weeks ago, something like that. Very funny fellow. Right from here in Twin Falls, right here, very fine young man. Would you welcome Brian Higgins?
So how many of you already know me? And they admit it in public. How cool is that? How many of you were at the turf when we did the turf club? Okay, I will not bore you with the same stuff. I have new stuff for today. Hooray for me. I also will not be telling any jokes about Asians or vomit, so you're off the hook. I am in my mid-30s now, and I am single, never been married, no kids. I have a very good friend of mine. She says, Brian, you would be such a catch if you weren't such a jerk. Having been single, as long as I've been single, I find myself doing a lot of research, trying to figure women out, like a lot of other very foolish men before me. I read somewhere that women and cats will do as they please, and men and dogs would do well to get used to the idea. In my research, I found that men tend to focus, one thing at a time. Women have this wonderful panoramic vision. They seem to be able to see everything all at the same time. Which means when you're with your lady, she's going to see that more attractive woman first. And then she's going to look at you. And she's going to wait for you to look at the more attractive woman. But because you're a man, you have to look right at her. And she's waiting. What a trap! I was coming out of a restaurant the other day, and there was this gal outside, just working her cigarette, just upset, talking to her friend, and she was pissed that her husband had a woman on the side. Woman on the side. She was pissed off because her husband had a woman on the side. And I thought, my, this guy's in a lot of trouble. What are you going to do with a woman on the side? It seems to me they're a lot more useful in front of you. Oh, you're only groaning because it's true. Have you ever noticed that women look at houses and babies the same way men look at women? We stop and we groan and we coo and we ask our friends to come over and look when we find one we really like. What I suggest, fellas, is the next time you catch your woman looking through one of those house magazines with some of her friends or ogling somebody else's baby, that you get kind of pissy and punch her on the shoulder, and then don't talk to her for a while. And then when you do talk to her, you should cry and tell her how that makes you feel. Men tend to talk in straight lines. Point A, point B, point C. Ladies tend to talk in circles. They say something and then they go around. They come back again and they go around and they come back again. Which is very frustrating for a man who's waiting for closure so he can go back to looking for women he's not supposed to be looking at. What I found in my humble experience is if you nod and you're supportive and you act like you're paying attention and you're not incredibly bored, kind of like she does for you in bed. Have you ever noticed that having sex with a new partner is a lot like going to the eye doctor? Because you spend the whole time going, well, is this better or is this better? Is this better or is this better? As I mentioned earlier, I've done some research. And there's some interesting male-female differences, and some of them are physical. That there's a concept in heat retention that has to do with body mass to surface area ratio. Long story short, bigger things hold heat better. And men in general tend to be a little bit bigger. Women tend to have a little bit thinner skin. And a man tends to have a little more lean body mass, so he generates a little bit more heat. So no, she's not a wimp, she's a girl, and it really does hurt her more. And no, he's not insensitive, he's a man, and that's not his fault. And yes, she really is cold all the time. And so when she snuggles up next to you at night, and you skip her across the bed like a flat rock, it's not because he's a jerk, it's because it's very hard for him to sleep while he's drowning in a puddle of his own sweat as a product of your affection. Now, when she cuddles up, she wants to be nice. Women are very concerned about being nice. Men tend to be much more concerned about being right. I've been on the wrong side of this many times. Let me clue you in. It doesn't matter how right you are. If you're not nice, you're wrong. And I suggest you remind her about that the next time you're right, and she's not being nice. Apparently, this is a very frightening thing, because they asked me to take this out of the bar, and I showed them that I wasn't drinking anything scary. I actually have to tell a joke sort of on myself. This is a promotional bottle. I'm sure we've seen things like this before. I'm a karate guy. And on the back side, and understand this is totally my fault, it says 3-week free intro course with this bottle. And I had one of the mothers of one of the students bring it into the school, and she said, "Do you see what this says?" And I said, "Yeah, 3 weeks free intro course with this bottle." And then I started thinking about it, and I said, well, free intro course. I don't know what the going rate is, but free's usually pretty good. And then it says 3 weeks free intro course. And I thought, man, that's a lot of intro course. That's probably why you need the bottle, so you can stay hydrated. But then I thought about it a little further. It says 3 weeks free intro course with this bottle. What kind of sickie wants an intro course with a bottle for 3 weeks at any price? You guys are a lot of fun. Thank you very much.
Brian Higgins, ladies and gentlemen.